They relate that there was a time that in the house of Hillel Paritch, now Hillel Paritch, I mean, he was half a Rebbe. So Chassidic said he was half a Rebbe, at a completely different level, but still. So there was a time that by the Hillel there was tremendous poverty, so much so that there wasn't food for Shabbos. And it came Friday night, came Shabbos, the whole covered Shabbos was lighting candles. It's all they had. Time of the Mittler Rebbe was tremendous. Dachkus, tremendous poverty, economically poor. Now the neighbors of Rabbi Hillel also were very poor and they had nothing. So it happened once that the Shchenim, the neighbors, didn't even have candles. So they came next door to ask Rabbi Hillel if he has, could he lend them some candles? So that's all he had was that. He just took the candles and he gave them. His Rebbetzin was upset. And she said, we're also Yidden, and we also have Shabbos. So why did you give them away? So Piddle says, at least we have L'Kutei Torah. End of story. So Rabbi Yoel asks, okay, for the Hillel, learning L'Kutei Torah for him is Pearl. What's the candles for? Einic Shabbos and Koved Shabbos. So learning L'Kutei Torah illuminates him. How much is that story here? This is wild. That was often the stories we tell that I'm just following this book here, and I'll tell you why. So that Biel asks, Mele, he has a look at the Torah, so this is his delight on Shabbos. But his wife is saying, how does it answer a question? But here Rabbi concludes that if the husband is immersed in Chassidus, look at the Torah the way he should be, this has an influence on the house as well. This is like Eram Mugbal Ela B'Ligvul. If it's Eram Mugbal, so he has it, she doesn't have it. But if the Chassid is connected to Eram B'Ligvul, then even she is inspired by it, even someone who's not learning it. In other words,
and he's bottled.
It's the only way. It's the only way it can be.
And he's bottled to her.
And
he's bottled to.
He will be if he's connected to Eram B'Ligvul, then she will literally feed off his delight, and she will be encompassed in his tainug. That's only if he's connected to Chassidus, not in a way of gvul, namely, I like it, and I learned another maimer, so that remains here. She have from that I learned the maimer. But if he's connecting to the bligvul of the maimer, the likus of the maimer, and that's the tainug, because the Eibishter says on Shabbos, the Yid should have tainug, then she'll experience it as well. We're going to have 2 minutes. Another story here, because it's one little theme, a cute story. So similar kind of idea. Yael says there was a chassid called a Pinya Rock Shiker. So this is a Pinya Rock Shiker. I don't know when he lived. You must look him up. So he was a big Baal Havana and understanding of Chassidus and a big Oved Hashem. In brackets, he remembers there was once a big debate in Tel Aviv. It was when he was a bacher, a kid, who understood Chassidus better, the Pinyor Rab Chatzefegen, who was renowned. So one of the people arguing was the famous Ameshka Gerari, who was a tremendous masculine intellectual in his own right. And he was a Talmud of Chatzefegen. So he said, Rabbi was just saying, that in one thing in Chassidus, Pinyor understood better. This Pinyor, he just remembers telling an anecdote. Now here's the story. The Pinyor's conduct was such that he inspired his whole household. This is a very powerful story of, you listen to the story. So they say that every Friday night his Seder was like this. He would daven Kabbalah Shabbos Barichos, like Chassidim daven, and he would finish davening very late at night. When you come home from shul after davening, so everybody had gone to sleep. So they would get up and they would make Kiddush and Suda Shabbos. It was late at night. And he would speak with his family and children about Chassidus and stories and Darkei Chassidus and teaching the Gunim, etc. This is what he said. It happened once that his daughter stayed by a friend of hers. And so comes Friday night, the father comes home and he makes Kiddush and they sit down to a meal, and the meal was not like the meal by her father. And so she says, this isn't Shabbos. This is Shabbos. Rabbi is bringing out that if we're really sincere, and like there's two both stories really. The Hillel is at a higher level. The opinion is also a little closer to us. We're sincere about it, and we're consistent about it, and we're sincere. Then we lift our whole environment as well. For this little girl, what's the Shabbos? Father comes home. He wakes it late at night, wakes us up, we sit down to him. But the key word here is the sincerity, the bittul, to connect to the bligvulness of Chassidus, not I'm a Chassid, and that's just an ego trip that alienates. But if we're connecting to the Eibishter, the Pnimis Be'etzem, then one can really grow in Chassidus. Okay, you need guidance, it's not so pashut. And on the contrary, not alienate family, but lift your family and make them part of your journey. That's what it's all about in the story here. He wouldn't just wake them up and hear Kiddush. He would sit with them and tell them stories and speak Divrei Chassidus. Your journey must be, that's really the bottom line. The husband, the father, your journey, you have to see to it that your journey is the family's journey and incorporate them in that as well. And what's going to draw them is not just the beauty of your teachings, but your sincerity and your humility. A wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you very, very much.